Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the GDG Ahmedabad event. We know we are after so much time, but we are as a family. So we understand you, and you also understand us. Thank you so much for all the great support and for being with us. Today's event is about Flutter. As we know, like most of the things are we are working on mobile technologies and web and also the Flutter is Google have introduced back 2 or 3 years, and we have somehow we have started or we have worked on this or maybe on the demo or maybe the learning purpose or maybe the huge project. So today we are introducing or we are coming with our the new topic, which is regarding the Flutter plugins. So yeah, if I say the in the minimal words, so Flutter plugins, we can see like some of the codes we have which I need to write multiple times, so I can create a one plugin and will write only one time code and use as a dependency or implementation kind of things. So during I have created one Flutter plugin uh, back to 1 year back, but and I found something way like there are some other way to create a new Flutter plugins. So today's event is regarding about we know about how to create a plugin but in very basic manner way, but we have something different way, which is our today's speaker are introducing and learning about these things. Let's welcome Smit Sonani.
Hey
Hi
guys, how
Smit.
are you? Hi. Hi. First of all, very much thank you to sharing this platform. Today I'm really excited to introduce the Federated plugin, which is the recommended deadline, and we will be learning all together, what are the practices, how we should do that, all these things. So yeah, let me start with the presentation.
Smith, before you starting presentation, let me introduce you a bit more.
Sure.
So yeah, so first things Smith is working on working at a high level, which is company name, and as a senior mobile application developer. And basically, me and Smith are working together, and I have a good experience with him, and we both are allowed to work it. So thank you for the support and everything. And so I think we are good to go with the presentation. So Smith, you can share your screen now.
Sure.
Over to you, Smith.
Okay. So, can anyone confirm you can see the presentation? Hello, Chaldeep. Okay. So, as we already announced, like the background of the today's topic. Let me give some background about my work and how I came to this topic. So basically, at high level, I was working on certain features which required the platform specific requirements, and it came and that's why I had, and it wasn't available at the pub.dev, so I had to create a plugin, and I started looking into it, and I found like there were earlier there was another way of writing the plugin, and now the federated way is the common standard, and all of the plugins from Flutter team as well as the community are already migrated to the new ecosystem. So uh, I'm I'm really excited to talk about that and how we have achieved that. So the plugin that I have created is already being used by more than 50,000 monthly active users, and yeah, I'll uh, give you the sneak peek of the structures of the federated plugin. Okay, so what we will be going to discuss in this session. So the way concept about packages and plugin. Then we will discuss like how that plugins can be federated. Then what is the fundamental of communication between platform and Flutter. Then how we can create the plugins. We will see the commands, how we can integrate the different plugin packages into the different app facing packages. Then we will also discuss about the Flutter Android embedding v2, which you might have noticed if you are already using the latest Flutter version and you have some dependencies which are not yet upgraded. Then you will be seeing in console that like this plugin is not upgraded to embedding v2, and we'll see like how why it's very important to have that to v2. And then we will see the entire federated plugin in action. Like I'll showcase the demo repository that I have created. Then we will see some of the commands to publish the plugin, and what are the basic best practices that the pub has set in scoring mechanism. So we'll see that. And yeah. So let's start with basics about packages and plugins. So if I say about packages, so packages is simply kind of a library. Like in other ecosystem, we say it as a library or framework. In Flutter, we say it as a package, which is a highly reusable code which can be integrated in any of the Flutter application. Right. So as it's highly reusable, and if we make it as an open source, we can have the great maintenance support, we can have the great feature list, right? So that's how the packaging ecosystem grows. And if I talk about packages specifically, packages can be of pure data as well. Like there is no need of communicating to the network like a native platform interface. And yeah, they can be pure dart. But plugins are a special type of packages. So plugins are also called as packages only. Plugins are no different than packages, but they have the special purpose. Like they brings the platform features to the application layer, right? And that's why it requires a native development skills if you want to implement that plugins. So the native platform, whether if you are iOS and you are expecting iOS and Android plugin, then you require that Java, Kotlin, and that Swift knowledge, and that how things works in native, so that you can achieve the features, right? So we'll see like how the federated plugins are different than the normal packages. So basically, if we go with the solid principle, there is a S, which is uh, that single responsibility, right? So what they have done is they have divided the responsibility into main three layers. So whenever we want to implement the plugin which requires the native side communication, so there are mainly three parts. One is the package which we integrate in the Flutter application, which is called app facing package. And generally, as a user or as a developer of, we require only that package as a third party dependency. Internally, it requires a platform interface as a second layer. So that interface has the common functions, and that interface has to be implemented by specific individual plugins, and that plugins are the third layer. So basically the responsibilities are divided into three layers. So if we go with this federated way, what are the benefits? So basically we can collaborate very easily. We can scale it very easily. Suppose we have three team members, and two are knowing Android, one is knowing iOS. What if we want Mac OS and web as well as a supported platforms? So we may able to create separate plugin packages from someone else, and we can integrate it into our ecosystem. So anyone can develop the plugin packages independently, and those can be integrated into the original package. And that's how we can easily scale the packages, and we can support the multiple platforms as well. So there are mainly two types of federated plugin packages. One is Andots. Andots means if you are developing a plugin package, like suppose iOS or Android package you are implementing, right? And there is a app facing package which is being maintained by the original author. And if you want to add your iOS specific implementation into that package, then if that author agrees and that author adds your package dependency, then it is in their app facing package, then it is called Andots. But if they are not adding your dependency as in that app facing package, then it is called non-endorsed. In non-endorsed, what you can do is you can still have that app facing package as a dependency, as well as the iOS plugin specific dependency in your application, Flutter application, and you can combine them, and you can still introduce that platform level feature without that actual plugin being part of that app facing package, and that's why it's non-endorsed. Okay, so we will see a very high level architecture of how these three layers communicates to each other. So app means we will consider it as our Flutter application. So whatever we are developing in Flutter, it's an app. So app requires a package as a third party dependency, which brings in the native platform support, right? So we are taking here the example of URL launcher. So we simply integrate URL launcher. We don't care like what is under the hood, how it works at macOS, web, or even iOS and Android, right? So we simply require this URL launcher. So this URL launcher is called as app facing package, which we consume as a user or developer. Then there is a second layer, which is platform interface, in which the common methods are written. So app facing package communicates to that platform interface, and that platform interface is simply a class in that package, a separate package. So that class can be inherited by other plugin packages, like here if you see in the launcher web and launcher macOS, they are simply inheriting the interface, implementing that interface, and that's how they are supporting the functions being expected by the URL launcher package. Okay. Now we'll see like what are the facing packages consist of. So basically, as I said, those are the main packages for the user to obtain the plugin specific features. And this is the package which goes into the Flutter application dependency. These app facing packages are mostly pure Dart. We don't require any native related code in that, and it internally depends on platform interface and plugin packages. And uh, it is very important to have an example app if we are developing the Flutter plugin in federated way. So that example app can act as an intermediate for developing the plugins. So basically, if you want to open your project for iOS to edit and add the features in Swift, you need an example app where you can open its iOS directory into the Xcode, and similar to that Android directory in Android Studio or IntelliJ IDE, and you can edit that plugin. You can implement that plugin natively. You will not directly be able to get all the suggestions and all in VS Code. So we require that example app to be set up so that it can bring us the power of developing the package. Apart from that, example app can also bring in the power of debugging and testing the native features. So without if you are running the directly the platform app, if you are directly running the application and you are importing the app facing package in that, then you will not be able to directly debug the application. But if you have that running as an in the Xcode, you will be able to debug the iOS application And similar way in the Android Studio, you will be able to debug the Android specific code. Right. So also to add the platform specific test cases, we require the test targets to be added for iOS and macOS in this example apps specific directory of iOS and macOS. We need to add the test targets, and similar to that in Android, we require the apps Gradle to have that JUnit runner and all these dependencies, and we can implement that unit testing for the native platform layer. For that we don't require example. We can simply implement the test in the package itself, like at the root of the FSM package or at the root of platform interface package, right? So we can implement test cases there itself. Let's understand the importance of platform interface. So as we discussed, like it has the common rules that everyone has to agree. It has common methods declarations, and whatever plugin is going to implement it, it has to support those. Otherwise, it will throw at runtime exceptions like method not implemented kind of exceptions. Uh, Platform interface, whenever we are developing, it has mainly two main parts. One is the interface itself, which is written in Dart, which is part of lib folder, and the second one is the default implementation. So if any of the plugin wants to use the communication mode, what is the default mode? So generally we use the method channel implementation, and that's part of this platform channel, so that every other platform can leverage that method channel implementation from that side into this package. Okay, and this is purely that there is no need of native. Only native code goes into uh, the plugin specific packages. And yeah, so platform interface is a standard. It also relies on the package called plugin platform interface, which is again from the Flutter team itself, and it has the common set of rules and how the plugin will be registered and all these things. So we have to implement that for the Dart layer. Now we have the platform specific plugins where we implement the native code. So it requires the native specific skills. So there is one exception in web plugin. So in web we can use Dart because Dart has the capability to compile to the JS later on, like while transpiling or so basically we can use that in the web, but for other plugins like iOS, Android, macOS, Windows, we have to implement them into the native code base. So we will understand now how the communication works via platform channels. So this two layer like the app. So if we see from the high level, there is an app and there is a native platform on which is called host, on which the app is running. So how does this communication happens between the app and the host? So that's what we will be discussing here. So there are three key components, which is one is the channel. So platform channel has three key components, which is one is the channel. There are different types of channel, we will discuss it later. So channel is nothing but a bridge uh, between the Flutter app and the platform, and it has the capability to communicate bidirectional, like bidirectional message passing. Flutter app can send message to the platform, and platform can send message to the Flutter app. Then another one is codec. Codec and messenger is something which we generally avoid, like we don't have to worry about because there are default implementation available in the plugin itself. So one is the codec. By default we use standard message codec. Codec is nothing but we are implementing native code in Swift and whatever languages we are needed for developing the plugin, right? So how does that message channel, like these platform channels, understand like what is this data? So that's why we require the codecs, and one is that standard message codec, which is by default. So if you are using any of the platform channel, by default it is standard message codec. So it encodes and decodes. It is like more of like serialization and deserialization, what we do for JSON, right? It is kind of that. And messenger, so channel is fine, like it's a bridge. Codec is something like it serializes or deserializes data, but how to send those data across the channels is part of messenger. And by default there is a binary messenger, is it's an interface, there is a default implementation for that internally. So it handles all these things like sending data across the channels. So types of channels, so mainly we are having idea about method channel and event channel. So purpose of both is like method channel is a one time operation. If you want to invoke something on native side from the Flutter side, or if you want to invoke something on Flutter side from native side, you can use the method channel, right? And there is one more variant to the method channel, which is optional method channel. What does it means? So in generally method channel, if you pass, if you invoke any method and there is no implementation available for that, you will get an exception like method not implemented kind of exception. But if you are using instead of method channel, optional method channel, then it will simply return null. It will not throw any exception. But I see this is very rarely used class generally in the packages which I have studied. And there is another type which is event channel. So event channel is streaming, like streaming data continuously from platform side to the Flutter app side. One of the use cases like location changes events. So we will be, so as I said, like I'll be showing all these things in action, like in real live code. And we will see both these types of channels, how those works in the demo itself. So again, this is a architectural diagram from Flutter site itself. Like the Flutter app communicates to the host platforms via method channel, and there is, so this is a high level diagram which was earlier part of the package itself or the application itself. So yeah, earlier the practices were like you can directly implement platform specific code in your Flutter apps iOS and Android folder itself. uh, but to extract out it as per solid principles, we should not directly do this, but the concepts remain same, like communication mode and all. So another is standard message codec. I told like it serializes and deserializes, but what kind of data it supports? So as far as I have used, like I could adjust with like all the primitive types which I required, like in standard integer strings and boolean and all. You can see the full list, and also it's available on flutter.dev, so you can have the look at this at that. Okay, I have given the link as well in the source. Okay, so these were the method channel and the platform channel. The normal platform channels where it uses method channel or the event channel which we implement, right? But there is another way as well, which is called Pigeon. Pigeon is again the package from Flutter team. It's a type safe, so you have to, and you can write this. So in whatever the classes you want to send across the platform and the Flutter app, you can write them in that. So this Pigeon package allows us to write all the contracts in that itself. Then it generates the code for us to communicate. So we don't have to manage platform channels like method channel, invoke the stringified methods like invoke this channel, this method name, pass these arguments. All this thing can be can be type safe, and it will generate the code for that package as well as the plugin side, like Android and iOS specific code also it will generate. It right now generates for iOS it generates in Objective C, and for Android it generates Java, but both can be accessed via Swift and Kotlin respectively via bridging and all. And the limitation is right now this PGN package only supports Android and iOS. They haven't yet enhanced it to the other plugins like other platforms like Mac OS and all. But if you want to implement only two platforms for now, that's fine. Even if you want, and another drawback I have seen for this package is this Android and iOS implementation needs to be in the same package where your app facing package is, because it generates the code in that directory itself. So that's one of the drawback, but I can think of a way where we can uh, pass the reference of the cross directories and we can generate code for other plugins, but it's very experimental. I haven't tested it. uh, and there is an example link which I would like to show. So how it converts the things. So as I told, like we want to transfer book class across the channel, and there is a API we have created. So whatever contract we want to create as a class, like it will be called as host API. We have to annotate at host, and this will be generated as a book API class, which have the function of the search built in. So at the Dart side, we will be able to simply call like book API's instant DOS search and pass the keyword, and it will return. And similarly on the platform side, it will have the book API class in the Objective C or Java, and we can add the whatever we require as a concrete implementation, and we can pass the instance of that book from there. We don't have to serialize, deserialize. We don't have to rely on the method name and all. It will be all done by this plugin. So this is at the rate host API is for invoking the platform specific implementation from that side. Similarly, we have at the rate Flutter host API, I guess. Uh, I forgot the exact name, like at the Flutter host API only, I guess, or at the Flutter API. So if you annotate like that way, then what you will be able to do is you will be able to call from platform to the Dart layer, which is reverse. Like if you want something from Dart to the platform, then you can annotate it as a at the Flutter host API or Flutter API. There is some keyword. Another annotation is supported by this pigeon plugin is at the rate async. So this search is right now implemented as a synchronous code. When you fire the search, it will immediately give you the book class instance or list of books. But what if it requires some asynchronous processing at the platform or that layer, and you want it to be asynchronous? Then you have to mark it as at async. The method needs to be marked as at async, and it will generate the code respectively. Uh, so, some other limitations I have seen with this plugin is, if you carefully see, like the arguments must be non-nullable, and always the return types will be the nullable. That's what right now this plugin generates the code. If you specify the non-nullable code type here, it will throw an error or something. It's right now not supporting like that way, but hopefully that will be soon, because there is a thread open there. So this is something very interesting, like PGN package I really liked. And even some of the plugins internally, like from the Flutter itself, are using PGN extensively. Okay. Uh,
Okay, so Smith, you can if you want to drink a water or the kind of thing, so you can do. Meanwhile, attendees or the friends, if you want to ask any kind of question, any kind of query regarding this, what are the Smith have shared apart from this year. So if you have anything, you can ask into the chat. We have the experts, and we all are the know about the things and everything. So we can discuss for over here, and we will happy to share the answer. And some of the friends are from our during the live sessions. They also know the sums, so you can also ask the question, and also give the answer of that one. So yeah, I think if you have anything question, you can ping into the chat, or else at the end of the event we have the Q&A. So you where there also you can ask some question there. Okay. So yes, Smith, if you are ready, then we can go with the our live coding.
Sure, sure. Okay,
Yeah.
so theories are enough. Like we want to see something in action, right? So first of all, let's understand few of the commands and how the integration works from the slide itself. Then we will jump onto the real examples on the code side. So we were talking about three layers of that federated plugin. So one is the platform interface, how you can create that. So basically, Flutter create is the omni command. Like you can create anything with Flutter create, the Flutter related. So Flutter create, you just pass the template minus hyphen t or double hyphen template equal to is a argument. You can pass the package or plugin or even app. Generally, we don't pass template command if we are creating the application. But if you are creating package or plugin, you can specify it. The only difference is if you specify the package, what it will do is it will generate the bare minimum code in Dart. But if you are specifying the plugin, then it will even generate the code for whatever platforms you have specified as a native directory in the plugin. Also, it will generate the example app in that plugin directory. Okay, so platform interface, as we said, like it's a pure Dart and we don't require plugin related stuff, so we can simply pass the package and the name of the package. General guideline is like suffix it with underscore platform underscore interface. So this will be the platform interface package where we will write all the contracts. Then there is a fsing package which we can create as a package command again, because it's a pure Dart. And then as I said, like it requires an example app. Example app is nothing but a Flutter app itself, like Flutter app only, nothing else. So basically, we have to create an example app in that package. So we can uh, so the last command is all about that app creation, where I have specified the languages iOS for Swift for iOS and Kotlin for Android. The second last command is for creating the platform specific plugin. If you see, the platforms are specified as iOS. If you want to specify multiple commands, then you can specify with comma separated values. And the possible supported types are iOS, Android, macOS, Linux, Windows, and Web as of now. So these are the basic commands which are used for creating the packages. We will see the different ways to integrate the dependency based on the dependency source where that package lies. So if the package is on the pub.dev, it's very straightforward. You can directly give the version number which you want to resolve with your package like application. The another is like if you have the code on Git repository, whether it's a public or private, you can specify it via URL, the repository URL. Then reference can be anything like branch tag or the commit number, like hash of the commit. And if your plugin is specifically in the subdirectory, not at the root directory, in any of the subdirectory, then you should be giving the path of that exact directory relative to that the current repository, so that it can resolve the plugin. Okay. And the third source can be the local path, which we generally use for local development. So at that time, we can simply give the path and the path to that plugin, so it can be integrated. So these are mainly three identified ways, the most common ways we can integrate the any of the package of plugin into our application. Now we'll see the platform interface, like plugin specific package, how we can integrate into the app facing package. So Flutter Federated plugin, which is Flutter plugin v2, is supporting the new map called flutter.plugin.platforms, which is here, like Flutter plugin platforms, and it has the multiple values like iOS, Android, Web, macOS, Linux, as I said earlier. So you can specify. Suppose I want to integrate the iOS specific plugin into my F-facing package, right? So how can I do that? So one thing is you have to add iOS related package as a dependency in your dependencies list. This is the pub spec file, and the second thing is you have to specify what is the class name of that iOS specific implementation, so that it can resolve what class it has to refer when it is running on the host platform. So there is a keyword called plugin class. There are other attributes as well, like I will see. And there is for Android there is also package name. uh, for web, it's there is plugin class plus file name. File name is required for because in which specific dart file we have implemented that web, that needs to be specified. uh, and there is another variant of this as well. So this is something where which has which can be like app facing package itself has the iOS related plugin code, which is not which is not exactly the full federated way, but you can do that, and in that case you can simply provide the class. But what if you have that separate package for iOS, uh, that is called plugin, like iOS plugin, and you want to integrate that into your platform, that app facing package. So at that time, what you have to do is in your app facing package, you have to simply add the dependency again, and the default package you have to specify under Flutter plugin platforms iOS, as we are integrating iOS, then iOS, and default package name. This package name will be same as the package name we have added in the dependencies, so that in that pack it can traverse to that package name, and in that package it will again figure out, like you can see the second file, my package iOS slash pubspec yaml. In that it will try to see what is the plugin class name. So this is how it travels through the dependencies and resolves the platform specific implementation. Now something about Flutter embedding v2. So earlier, the way to integrate the plugins was using the registrar class, that is called that was part of v1. So the key challenges were there, like there was no activity life cycles related callbacks, or like life cycles were the biggest missing piece in that. So they introduced the new way, embedding v2, where we can see, so basically the the blue one is part of Flutter plugin class. So Flutter plugin is an interface. So whatever plugin we are implementing at the native side, they have to uh, conform to that protocol, or we can say interface. It provides two main method: on attached to Flutter engine, which is fired when our plugin is added to the Flutter engine. And it on detached from Flutter engine. So the first one, on attached to Flutter engine, is the method where we have to initialize our plugins and all these resources. And the last one, on detached from Flutter engine, is the callback where we have to release all the resources being consumed by our plugin. And the green one are part of activity aware. Activity aware was introduced as part of V2 for the life cycle. If someone needs a plugin which requires on the activity, suppose a camera app, it requires the camera activity from the native side, right? So at that time, these are the four methods which can act as a life cycle for that. And you can do the necessary stuff like initializing some of the things for that particular activity on attached to activity, on detach from activity for config changes, and on reattach to activity for config changes. These two methods are fired when we try to do some config changes, like changing the system Chrome and those kind of things. At that time, it will deallocate reference and reallocate that reference. And on detach from activity is where you have to remove all the activity specific references from the plugin. So this was the Flutter embedding V2. Also, there was another lifecycle class introduced in V2, which is service aware. If someone is creating a package which simply relies on the background services in Android, like, they can use that. There are two callbacks into that. One is on attached to service, and one is on detached from service. So that can also be a useful thing. Apart from this, this is part of Android, but I would like to share a tip. Like, if you want to if you want to listen for iOS application delegate related changes, which is very common requirement. If you are implementing iOS specific plugin and it has app delegate related things, like if you are creating something related to deep link or state restoration, right? If you are creating something related to push notification, which is already there, but if you still want to customize and you want to implement something, then you require those references. And for that, there is a class in the a Flutter plugin, which is called Flutter Application Lifecycle Delegate. Uh, by adopting that, you can simply receive all those callbacks. Okay, so now we go to the live demo. So I have created a very minimalistic demo application, like demo plugin, for demonstrating the different scenarios, different platforms. Uh, so you can see. So first of all, is this visible to everyone or not? Like, I think, okay, now it might be good. So we can see here there are different directories. So each directory represents one single plugin or package, which can be published individually to the pubs, pub.dev. So supported devices is an F facing package. This is the package which needs to be consumed by other interested developers in their applications, like in the Flutter application. Uh, the rest of the things are internal, like they don't need to care about those things. But the platform specific implementation is part of this supported device platform interface package, and the rest of our plugin specific implementation. So we will first of all look at the platform interface, like how it looks like. We talked very much theoretically, like fundamentals are that and all, but what is actually in the code? So basically, uh, you can see the platform interface. One second. Okay. So platform interface again depends on a plugin platform interface package, which is developed by Flutter team, and it has the interface called platform interface, and which has the necessary methods like instantiation and when should we instantiate and all. So it handles all these things. Simply we have to extend our platform interface with that platform interface. So uh, I have created one class, and as I talked, like we need a default instance of this platform interface, which is by default we generally use method channel, and that's why I have implemented it as a method channel supported device, where you will be. So this is the platform interface where I have first of all done some boilerplate things. So one is to create a default instance, then create a token is simply to verify the integrity of the plugin is same, and all these things. There is a static method called instance where we can specify the instance from outside, and on any of the plugin package, like on app facing package, we can use this instance static member to access the default implementation, or at the runtime whatever is resolved for us. Runtime means this instance method will be called for certain types of plugins where they inject the things like web. We'll simply override this. We will see in action like how it works. uh, Apart from that, I have written the contract. So I have created three simple methods. One is for fetching something, one is for invoking something at the platform side, which toggles the state of things. So suppose this project is simply emitting device name randomly for the host platform. Like if you are running this app on the Mac OS, then it will throw some device names like which are the Mac OS supported devices, MacBooks and Air and all these things. If you are running this app on the Android, it will give you the devices supported by Android, which are hard coded and not widely added devices. But this is a bare minimalistic demo which we have created for understand purpose only. Okay. Uh, so uh, this is the interface, like supported device platform interface. So that is extended again with method channel related default implementation, and in that we have created two types of channels. One is for this fetching. So whatever one-time operations are there, we will communicate via method channel. Like get random support device is a one-time operation. We simply tell to platform, and it returns as a single value. And toggle streaming supported device, it returns nothing, but it does some changes at the platform level, like turning on the streaming simulation via timer on or off, like that way. So it is also a single time operation. And there is a third method called supported device stream, which eventually, like every 5 seconds, it will emit a device name, and that can be communicated via event channel. uh, so at the platform interface, default method channel, we simply invoke the things, and we are passing that as to the app facing package. So app facing package will call these functions, and it will return the values. So, uh, so so you can simply pass a method name. If you don't have any arguments, if you have argument, you can pass as a second thing as argument can be anything which is supported by standard message codec. I have passed boolean, but it can be anything like map, list, or even string. anything. And event channel we will receive as a broadcast stream. Broadcast stream needs to be so by default it gives as a broadcast stream only. There is no other way right now, and it is required because there can be multiple method calls, like multiple listeners running, and that's why we require broadcast stream. So what will happen? So from platform, whenever an event is emitted, event will have the and data name and data, as so this event will have the dictionary, and that dictionary or map or hash map, whatever you say in native languages. So it will map those things on the fly, and it will extract out device name from that and return uh, to the app facing package, and app facing package again being consumed by Flutter application. So ultimately Flutter application gets that value, right? So this is something like I have just removed the null instances, and I'm just emitting only the actual only the values which are concrete. So this is all about that platform interface. It's very minimalistic. It doesn't have even implementation details. It simply invokes the things at the to the platform side. So this is what the job of an interface. Like, it doesn't have to expose any details. So the details are again provided by the platform specific plugins. So we'll see one in, so let me show the Android specific plugin. So in Android, so whenever you create that uh, plugin for Android platform support, it will create a file where you will have some boilerplate code which is not required, because what we want to do is whatever call invocation happens, we want to pass it to the default implementation of platform interface, which is method channel based implementation. So we are just simply passing. So I have deleted all those files and kept it blank, but this needs to be there, otherwise your uh, publish will throw an error like missing files. You will not be able to publish this. So now let's see at the native side, like in the Kotlin, how you can receive these invocations, and how you can uh, pass the data. Uh, I don't have right now Kotlin plugin integrated in VS Code, so code looks scary, but this is what right now I have. Uh, so basically, yeah, you can see Flutter plugin. This is the V2, where you will have two methods exposed by this Flutter plugin on attached to an engine, and the second one is on detached from engine. So one is where you will add all the plugin related, you will initiate all the plugin related things, and the second, like on detached from engine, is something where you will remove all the resources allocated during that attachment. That's part of that Flutter plugin. And method called handler is again a class implement, again an interface implemented to receive on method call. So whenever we invoke something from that interface, or app facing packages indirectly, like app facing packages invoke something, and you receive it here, you will get object of that method call. Method call has two things: one is method, second is arguments. So you can switch it out, like what is a method, and you can resolve concrete implementation for that. uh, one thing is sure, like you have to pass the result, otherwise your plugin will go into infinite waiting state, like it will not do the things as expected. So always invoke result at certain time, like whenever process completes or whatever. Even if it fails, then also you should have the necessary method, like By default, one error is like result dot not implemented for any unknown method call method name, right? Uh, so this is a bare minimum demonstration of how Android implementation looks like. Then we have one another. Let's see at iOS. So in iOS as well, similar thing like I have removed the default implementations, and that's also that it by default travels back to the method channel default class from the platform interface itself for invocation things. And then we have the concrete implementation of a native side is part of this iOS directory, where you can see every most of the things of our interest is in the classes. If you have specified the Swift as a language, you will initially get these three files: plugin header, plugin implementation, which are part of Objective C, and it internally creates bridging header to access those things as a Swift, and it creates the by default things of Swift here. Uh, Again, I have declared some variables required for this plugin. Then again, like Kotlin, like Java, like Android, Flutter plugin is also part of this iOS. Flutter plugin is a very standard interface for all the plugins, platform plugins out there, any platform support. So you will implement that. Here you will get is uh, you will get a register method where you simply initiate the method channels and event channels, and there is an again a handle method, and you will be able to see the implementation for event channel as stream handler, where you can continuously emit the events. So we are simply registering it, and this event sync is what we have. You can take a look at this. I have made this repository open source. There is a link as well. I'll show this you so that this is something you need to look at in detail to understand how things works. Okay. All right. So yeah, that was this. Then we have a publish package, and like how we can publish. So before ever publishing, we should run it, dry run it, so that it can analyze the things and warn us if there is something missing. And if everything goes green, then we can publish via dart pub publish. If it's a it's part of Flutter, like Flutter. If you are using the Flutter, then Flutter packages pub publish, or else you can directly use dart if you have configured that at your uh, beige or like ZSRC or something. Yeah, some best practices. These are already available as part of score page on the pub.dev. Any plugin you can go and see. But I would like to mention like three things: pub spec YAML, README, and changelog should be there. If possible, proper licensing should also be added. Then whatever the public facing methods are there, like those should be documented. Public facing methods mostly are like from platform interface app facing packages, so at least these two should be documented. uh, if you support at least two platforms, the pub.dev will be happy. uh, Code should not have error warnings, links, that needs to be taken care. And any third party dependencies we are using should be up to date. And the latest addition is like they expect to have the null safe code, so it also counts as a plus point. So key takeaways from this entire presentation, like method channel, platform channels are used for communication. So method channel can be used for one time, event channel for streaming. Any new plugin or even any existing one should migrate to V2 embedding, and Flutter plugin V2 for better lifecycle management. And from Flutter 2.5 stable release itself, they are giving a hard warning on the plugins which are not yet on the V2. So if you are maintaining any package, you should be considering this as a P1. Then, as I said, like Flutter application lifecycle delegate for iOS is something what activity aware is in Android. Uh, we should have example app so that we can open the native code in Xcode or Android Studio. We can debug them, test them, and yeah, don't forget to try run before publishing. Some of the useful links like enter reference to the packages and plugin official page, modern Flutter plugin from increased sales documentation, and the repository that I have shown you the demo is also part of these useful links. Okay, any Q&A?
Yeah, thanks, Smith. So yeah, Tim, any question regarding how to develop a method channel related plugins, or maybe the channels using that one, or maybe the how to publish to the pub.dev, because we generally show like if you are in from the Android side, we have one dependency, and we need to just implement that into the from the Gradle side. We just need to the use the implementation keyword, and we just write into the one dependency name. So same as the way for the Flutter, we need to use the pub.dev where the all the libraries are published, and we just need to tag the name and the version, and we need to insert into our the pub spec file, right? So same as the thing, like if you notice in the pub.dev, you notice in the right side have corner side have some likes or the health of the plugins, like how many like out of the 100 they give some numbers of counts of there. So how to achieve that kind of things, any kind of any related question you can ask to Smith. So Smith, I right now I'm going to take one by one question from the chat, and we'll prompt it into the our stream, so you can read from that, and ask the answer if you know about this one, right?
Sure.
So one of the basic
Yeah,
from the
definitely.
basics, yeah. So very basic from the basics, like how to learn Flutter.
Just by getting your hands dirty on it.
Yeah.
It's very easy. I would recommend the Flutter's cookbook. Official Flutter site has the cookbook link.
uh,
They have entire site and smaller concepts that you at least go skim through them and try to envision like what is and how it works at the basic layer.
mm,
Then you can try to expand your skills on Flutter on various domains.
yeah, yeah.
So
So
it's
yeah.
we know so far like Flutter is all about widgets, but I would say it's not only all about widgets. It has lot of things which are not shared to us as a developer publicly, but it has lot of power internally as well.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. So one of our other attendee, like Meet, is asking, like he's in college, so they might be are not getting the languages or the specific technology related subject from here. So he just like asking like how to start. So I think you give the answer for the Abhishek. Maybe it's regarding the same the things to Meet for that. So how to start the Flutter, and how to engage with them or learning from that. So maybe you can start with the like Flutter is a like it has the Google ecosystem, so there are so many developers or so many contributors are there. So you can check out on the Google side, and so many tutorials we have, like also the YouTube channels we many have there. So you can pick from that one, and start learning from there. And another things I would like to add into the Smith answer, like Google have some code labs also, so you can check into the Google site code labs for the Flutter technology, and you can start from that one, like from very basic to intermediate to expert level. Yeah, yeah. So anyone, any have question regarding this, or maybe you can share feedback as us. So you can share to Smith like how is going with the slides and presentations. So one from the Milinda,
Might
I
be,
just wanted to
might be.
say
One feedback I think I got is it was too technical or too bit deep. So maybe I'll try to abstract it out
yes, yes,
in the next presentation.
yeah, yeah. You are right. So another from the Abhishek have like in real life how we can use the Flutter, or you can share something, anything you have built already or you are working any kind of things which you can share publicly.
Okay. So is it about application creation? So mobile apps we generally use, right? So uh, that we can create with Flutter. If you have specific requirements which are not available as a free app on the store, you can create. I haven't required anything which is not out there, so I haven't built anything personally. I have done only commercial projects only so far.
Yeah, yeah. So I have just said about the Kotlibs which I have mentioned. So you can check out through the link here. It has a number of Kotlibs and workshops there on the official website. So you can start learning from that one. So one another say like what's the good place to learn about render objects and custom paints. So one of the regarding the render objects like one of the Googlers who are working on the Flutter team, they have just shared about one video over the YouTube channel. And yes, Smith, if you want to say something about the custom paint and anything.
Not specifically because I am not recalling the video, but there are a couple of videos I have also seen which explains really well. I can find out them again and share. Definitely,
Mhm.
those are not docs; those are in practice, like how concept works. So maybe that can help a little gray.
Yes, yes. Okay, guys. So anything else, or we can wrap up? You can also connect with us through the YouTube, sorry, through the Twitter or LinkedIn anywhere. We have the like my Twitter handle is Jaldi Pasodariya, and same as a Smith as a Smith Sonani. So you can DM us or you can ping us anywhere, and we'll happy to give you answer or happy to share with you with the anything with this. Yeah, so one of the feedback we got from the Rahil, like very helpful sessions and brief knowledge about all the plugins.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yes, Smith. So I think we can wrap up. So yeah, thank you so much, Smith, for a great time with us and to sharing your knowledge with us. So we learn from I think from you and from our community members as well. And yeah, Meet is asking for the LinkedIn profile, so you can check GDG Ahmedabad page onto the LinkedIn, and I have mentioned regarding about our event and regarding this Meet profile as well, so you can connect from with that, and you can simply say it the Smith Sonani or the Jaldi Pasodaya, and GDG Ahmedabad page is also there, so you can connect anywhere from with us. Yeah, so thank you so much, everyone. Yes, Smith, you can say you want to say something.
Thanks. I would like to give final thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present this talk, and thanks the community for bear me for an hour for this too technical topic. But I hope it
yeah.
will help you create plugin and give back what you learn in as a in community as well. So this is the whole purpose why I chose this topic, because I can see, especially I'm not active contributor on GitHub. I'm contributing a lot for the private projects, but I would like to. contribute now onwards on public things. So this is something which can help everyone as well, like plugins. And thanks, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you into the next event. We have a line of events for the rest of the 2021. So keep supporting us and check out our Twitter page. And we have a new home is gdg.community.dev/GDG Ahmedabad. You can check all the events and all the announcements over there. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.